All
We're
right,
on live.
appreciate
Go
it.
right ahead, kind sir.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Writers Workshop here on The Voice, 17104 Harrisburg. Always glad to have this opportunity. Brother Chris Thomas, thank you so much, my brother, and also Brother Neil Owens out of North Carolina is on the. And man, I saw your ad on Facebook there too, talking about your book and the stories. Yeah, that looks real good, man. Yeah, 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 good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. Now, is it out now?
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay.
It's gonna be a couple of more months at least.
Yeah.
At least a couple of more months before I release that.
How many stories did you say is how many stories was it again?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay.
22 stories. It's 94,000 words.
Mm.
So it's
Right.
it's over 300 pages. It's
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Man. So that's a storytelling masterpiece.
Yeah, it's really something,
That's
man.
good. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, we've enjoyed all the different vignettes that you shared with us thus far. And so I definitely want to put my hands on it. And let me see, I think there you go. Brother Chris brought it up.
Oh, that's the
Oh, that's Mirrors of Life. Yeah,
yeah,
part
that's the Mirror's Life Part 2. Yeah.
yeah, but that's one of your books though.
Yeah, that is. That's a classic there. That's a real classic.
All right, all right. Go ahead. That's good stuff, man. Yeah, we have some young folks who are on their way to Boston, Massachusetts. And so we had a meeting last night for those who want to come out and tour. The young contestants did come out and we hooked them up with mentors. But I have a couple others, and one sister, she did an essay. And we hooked her up with Eric Jackson. But I may want to get you involved in that as well. And then there's a couple other people who did some writings, and maybe give them some tips. Because the one thing about it is, being able to explain it. It's one thing to write it, but then to break it down with enthusiasm, because they're going to be interviewed or that kind of thing at the nationals. And I'm like, hey, you can't just monotone it. You got to throw it out there, man. You got to own that bad boy. Just like you said with your book, you said that's a masterpiece. If you don't claim it, who will? You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's
You got
right.
to claim it, man. Yeah,
Right.
that's right. And so I'm like, yeah, don't be making excuses. Those other kids come in, they can be rocking it. Greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Him in the home trying to be modest. And I don't know. But anyhow, but what's going on? How's everything?
Good, good. Praise God that all is well, myself and family, praise God.
Okay. All right. Good, good. I'm with you on that one, brother. Absolutely. Praise God, man. That's it. These we forget. Yes, indeed. So here's the thing. Before, I'm sure we'll be joined by some other people later. I was really pleased to have Christine Teedy on that last week, and she brought on two other people, outstanding. In fact, the one lady was in bed. I'm like, oh boy, she was laying back and everything. But she turned out to be absolutely incredible, a good author, and from the continent and highly educated, and she added a lot to it. And then the brother came on. He's the pastor of a church and also a highly educated brother out of the continent as well. And the three of them did a great job. Christine was on them. She was an old show, so that was great. Um, we do have a couple of things brewing. One with the magazine. I understand you submitted something that will be in this coming month's, next month's edition. And so looking forward to that. And folks, if you don't know, the Writers Workshop has an online magazine. It's absolutely free. You can submit, and if you're interested in submitting a article, an essay, poetry, it's wide open. That's why we created it, so that writers would have a space, another space, to submit their works. And so, think about it. We usually have a deadline around the 15th of the month, and this is only the 7th of July. So you still have a good 8 days to write a piece or to find something that you want to submit. Doesn't have to be anything new. Maybe something that you haven't published before, and you want to submit it for consideration. If you are interested, you can send your works to Writers Workshop Online at gmail.com. gmail.com. Writers Wordshop online, all one word, all, Writers Wordshop online at gmail.com. And, the first issue is already out. You can go to my Facebook page and see a copy of it. We've sent it out widely at this point. You may have already seen it. And there you go. Thank you, Brother Chris. That's a copy right there. And, if you turn the page, you will see what's inside there. We have advertisement. We have articles. There you go. And the sister who puts it together, Sarita Henderson, does a tremendous job for us. And also Nicole Wilkerson. Nicole is our events coordinator and also really manages a lot of our different things that we do. And Nicole is Making It Happen is the name of our organization. She takes care of the ads. So if you're interested in having an ad in the magazine, you can. And we were blessed enough to have some really fine ads that supported, the production and the cost and all that. But it's really good to read. And you can see it's very colorful. And you will enjoy it. You definitely want to, get a copy. And if you haven't seen it and you want a copy, just go online and look at, go to my Facebook page, and it's just Nathaniel Gadsden. And the last name is spelled Gadsden, and then first name Nathaniel. And you'll find it other places as well. Nicole Wilkerson is on her page. Sarita Henderson is on her page, Cerita Henderson. It's on her page. It's all over, and people have shared it widely. So really proud of that production. And our whole thing is setting up platforms for people, for writers, and that's why we do this on Friday nights. And we're here every Friday night, thanks to Brother Chris Thomas and his lovely wife Melissa. They've created this platform that a lot of us are using, and it's been a blessing to us. And then, of course, we have that and other platforms as well. By the way, if you're just hearing about the Writers Workshop for the first time, we do have a retreat that we do, and it will be consistent. We're going to be doing it monthly at Elizabethtown College, and also every now and then we'll be doing it at Penn State Harrisburg. And we have a wonderful space there, especially the Elizabethtown, both Penn State and Elizabethtown, and it's always free. We do not charge you a dime to come to the retreat and interface with writers. We have a couple things coming up. In fact, on the 22nd, I don't know, Brother Chris, if you got the flyer or not, but if you go to my Facebook page or to Nicole's, you'll see that we have a wonderful piece called, let's see, there it is. Girl, Chris is on it. Poetry and Pastries. Poetry and Pastries is going to take place on the 22nd of this month. It's Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's hard. And the space that we're using, we have to have some kind of special hookup in order to do the laptop and have, poets who participate. That's aim is. We're aiming to do that. But it's all free. You're gonna have some free donuts and pastries and coffee, tea, whatever. And we're gonna have 9 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. Cole always comes up with some nice games and entertainment to just make it even more exciting. And so we already have some poets lined up. I'll be reading myself, and we hope that we can get some of the folks from out of town who want to be a part of it to do the same. Hope you can still hear me. I can see my camera's going to act up tonight. Okay, there I go. And so anyhow, we're looking forward to it. Again, it's the 22nd of this month, 22nd of July, and it's going to be at 900 South Arlington Avenue in Harrisburg at the United Church Center. And we'll be downstairs in the lower level in the dining area. So you want to come, if you come to the front door, it'll give you instructions on how to walk down the steps, come around to the side, and we'll be right there. And we hope that we have a nice audience and people come in and just enjoy themselves, okay? Want to thank Giant Foods. The one store in particular has really been a tremendous help to us, along with Aetna Insurance. They have been our two sponsors. Of course, the Writers Wordshop and Life Esteem are, we're the primary sponsors. Yeah, we put a lot into it. Yeah, but Aetna and Giant Foods have stepped up big time. And so, and we always consider The Voice being one of our sponsors as well, because, they provide platform. They help us to put the word out there. So good stuff. So that's what's going on. Anyhow, having said all that, there's some other things coming up too. We'll talk about that later. But So let's talk about some writing tonight, man. Tips on writing in particular. And what I want to ask you to do tonight, brother Owens, we'll just have a running conversation like we did a couple weeks ago. That is the the process of beginning the story. I heard people say they write the end of the story first. The writer, they maybe not even write it, but they outline it in their mind. Where do I want to go with my story? So they're not just sitting there trying to make it up as they go along. They know where they're trying to get to is the theory behind this. And then so they write the storyline to meet that the end of the story. Have you used that technique, or is there another technique that you use when you're working on your novels?
No, I didn't. I didn't use the haven't used an end technique. I basically focus on what the story is going to be.
Okay.
And the beginning of the story, and then I just go as it go along as it goes.
Yeah.
To build to that end, because the end can change. I have an idea of how I want the end to be, but getting there,
Yeah. And the
is
inspiration might change over time. You might.
yes, it
Okay.
can change. So a lot of things go through. So I don't lock down on a certain way. And I just kind of, you just gotta kind of keep focus on it and keep, you're changing on what your idea is going to be. And with me, writing fiction for me, it's important that it's realistic.
Mm-hmm.
The story, even though it's a fiction piece, that is realistic. And so I want to focus on realistic and what someone would say as the characters. What would they say in a certain situation? What would they do in a certain situation? I find that to be extremely important, because readers do want to, they want to connect with the characters, and they do want to, they want to, even though it's imagination and it's fiction, they want to become a part of the story, and you draw them in to become a part of the story.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the key. I think most writers probably use that approach more than the other one of, the end of the story first kind of thing, because then you're kind of locked in. But I know a lot of people do say that that's what they use. One guy in particular. In fact, I'll say it. My brother, he came down and did a workshop for us, and that's kind of a technique that he's used quite a bit. He already knows where he wants to go with it, and that works for him. But for other people, no. We've had many writers come on, and even throughout the years, people, before we had this platform, we had writers come in person, and they would say, this is how they do it. And they may write an entire story and then decide to change it at the very end. They said, you know what, I'm gonna change the ending, or I'm gonna go back and redo something here because I don't like the way that unfolded, So they leave it open and let the inspiration hit them. Here's the other piece though, getting started. I mean, people always talk about writer's block. They talk about, just all kinds of things. How do you get started, man? What happens to you that makes you say, okay, I'm in full-fledged writer's mode?
Well, it comes with a thought, and this is the thought I have for the story.
Mm-hmm.
And when that thought pop in, I look and I think about, I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go about putting it together, and and just putting in your whole imagination flows. I mean, it's like there's so many different techniques and things, and I try to get most writers to understand that. That's why I say it's no correct way to do the right thing. I mean, you can go different kind of path. Don't get locked in as to doing it this way. This is the right way. This is the right way. No, no, no. I mean, your thing may start from the middle, I mean, whatever. The thing is the start. And some people just have an idea and they just go into a page and they don't finish a page. Like I have an uncle who for 30 years, he's only written one paragraph. And he's trying to create a book, right? And then for 30 years, he only created one paragraph.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's just, I mean, it's just, that's the challenge that you have sometimes. I mean, it's like being able to put it together is not as easy as it sounds.
No, absolutely. This is another thing, man, that people have discovered. Now you have AI, of course, the artificial intelligence and everything. And so some folks are using that but there's always been the ghostwriter. There's always been that person who is the interpreter. They literally, you tell the story. They had a guy on, I think it was Good Morning America, and he's a best-selling author at the time, probably still is. But then now he's wanted to show his technique. And he hired a lady who is an excellent typist. I think she was a Harvard graduate or something. I mean, she was really good. But her sole job was to listen to his story and write it down as he's telling it. And he's making it up as he goes. He's just using his mind. He's not sitting there trying to write it. And she was typing it all up. And then she would, read it back to him and everything and change it, whatever. It was interesting to see him reveal that, because he says, I don't write my books. I speak my books into life. And so and there are other writers out there. You see these guys have book after book after book. They say, well, wow, God, But a lot of them either use the recorder, or they use a live person, or even a ghostwriter at times. They give an outline, and the ghostwriter sort of takes off.
Right.
But you never see anybody's name on that book except them.
Right.
But there was a book, though. I noticed a number of people, though, actually do use the writer, and they will give them credit. For example, and I've said this 1,000 times, but Ilagisi, I can't call her name right now, but she wrote the book Left to Tell, but she didn't write the book. It was another guy who actually wrote the book, but she told the story, and he wrote the book based on her telling the story. And then she did give him credit as told to, so to speak. But she's the one that goes around, and she's the speaker. So she's selling books like crazy. And the guy who set her up was, not Tony Robbins, but a famous author. He happened to see the story, was moved by it, and took her under his wings. And so you never see the ghostwriter or the guy who actually, but you know his name if you add the book. So there's all kinds of different ways, like you said, back to your point. There's no set way to do the right thing. There's a lot of ways that you can write, tell, create your story. And it doesn't have to just be you pen on paper or typewriter. It can be you and a team of people who kind of pour into it. So that's interesting. Have you ever thought about working with other people, or have you tried to work with other people, or you pretty much have to isolate yourself and just do your own thing?
I pretty much isolate myself and do my own thing. Because it's all me. So everything I put out there is all me. And I don't write to sugarcoat anything. I'm very like I said, I like to I deliver a message. And it's messages of self-development, messages of growth, knowledge, insight, something to think about when you're dealing with political things. I mean, historical facts, different things. It's a learning process, and in my writing and in my story, no matter what the story is, no matter what it's about, it is a learning process. There's some teaching and there's some learning.
Yeah. So I wear a lot of different hats in different ways. Ministry, community advocate kind of thing. Creating a writers group, that kind of stuff. So sometimes I'm writing from a particular perspective. So if I'm writing about Black power kinds of things and issues, George Floyd or Trayvon Martin, whatever, and police brutality and this kind of thing, that's one thing. If I'm writing it from a Christian perspective about love and getting along with your neighbor and treating your neighbor as you would yourself, these kind of things, that's a different whole hat. Except that it can be one and the same. You know what I mean? You can be talking about some which I do in my poetry, and I can think of a couple of examples right now. But what hat do you wear when you're writing? Are you a Black writer? Are you just a writer? Are you a male writer? Are you a writer who writes from a certain perspective? Do you have a set kind of aura or mindset that you write from, if you understand the question?
Yeah, I do understand the question. No, I don't have. I infuse a lot of like faith and spirituality. I can infuse that in with the philosophy. I can infuse that in with the suspense, with the drama. So in my books, I infuse all of that. I mean, so that's there. No matter what a book I have, there's going to be some faith and spirituality connected there. There's always going to be a lane of God and understanding. God is going to always be a part of the story. No matter what, and no matter how small or big, it's going to be there, because that's a very critical part of life, and just understanding that is the key to life, in a sense. And so I teach that, and that's why I can do anything. I can, because some can have profanity. I mean, there's eroticism in some of my stories. I mean, so it's all of that, and that's just real life. I mean, that's real life.
Yeah, it really truly is. Yeah. And then there's a lane and a place for it. But people like to, but it's real life. And that's, that's yeah. And some people don't want to deal with it. They want it to be, something that it's not, and all that kind of stuff. But when you tell the story from a realistic standpoint, wow, it's amazing how it can come out. So again, though, do you see yourself primarily as a Black writer, a Black male writer? Does that ever
Black writer?
Okay, Black writer.
Definitely a Black writer.
Okay.
I am a Black writer. And I'm a Black writer, and I'm always writing in that focus of Black nationalism. That type of mindset is always there, of intelligence and of being civic minded, focusing on not themselves, but the community as a whole, always looking at trying to empower others.
Yeah.
So that is, and then, there's so many different kind of things. Like the storyteller has all these different stories in them. So there's a bunch of short stories, and there are a lot different type of approaches. I mean, there's one that can just focus on a mother and her child, and how that relationship bonds, and how she works to keep her child from becoming one of those statistics in the streets and things of that sort. How they overcome all of these different avenues. Yeah. So there's so many different things. I mean, there's like ancient stories. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, it's like going back into the historical essay that I wrote. That's included in the storyteller. I mean, I mentioned that King James was Black, and you can actually Google Black King James. You'll see for yourself. If you Google Black King James, it'll pop up, and you can read about him. King of Scotland, King of England. You'll see a picture of him, and he was Black.
Okay. And you're talking about the King James of the Bible now, right?
King James, who had the Bible translated, was a Black man. Yes, that King James. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That King James. So you can Google, and you'll see it all there. He was the King of Scotland. King of Scotland, King of England. He was the one that had the Bible translated. And the Catholic Church for it. So that's why I say there's a lot. So it says it's a lot of history. So when you connect that piece, knowing that, and you look at the perspective, okay, King James was a Black man, and the Pilgrims and them were running. They were actually running away from the Black king. Okay. And see, that's America. They discovered America. They actually was running away from the Black king. That's what they wanted to run away from him.
Wow.
So that's the history. That's why they didn't want the slaves to learn how to read and write, because they already had been under a Black king.
Ooh, okay.
See, that's the deepness of the history of it, and they didn't want to come back to that again.
That's one of the things that you said. You do research in your storytelling.
Oh yeah, man. You do a lot of research, and you find out a lot about just like Nat Turner. I mean, Nat Turner was a minister. He was a prophet. He was a man of God. He was preaching the word of God.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't talk about Nat Turner, just a rebel running around. This man was a minister of God.
That's right. And you know, it's interesting about that when the young man from, well, he actually went to Penn State. Remember, what was his name? Nathan something, I forget. But anyhow, you know, he did the movie of Nat Turner about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And he kind of got crucified. They tried to throw all kinds of stuff on him the whole bit. Then went and tell the story. It was excellently told. And that's exactly what he showed. But he also showed where the slave masters didn't want him to preach certain passages. You know, they only wanted him to preach certain things that made them feel like they should still be slaves and be happy.
Right. Yeah, master, you know, obey your master and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep him in that piece. They didn't want to give him the whole story, just parts of the story. And so, yeah, but he broke out, man, delivered it. I mean, he made it happen. That was a very, very, very powerful piece, man. And ironically, it's like, you know, coincidentally, he was hung in Jerusalem, in Virginia, the place called Jerusalem in Virginia.
That's good stuff, Dale. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
That's where it was at. So that kind of history stuff is in the storyteller. It's a historical essay that kind of like goes covers all that kind of stuff, man. It just
man. I'm telling you, you got to bring this bad boy out. Hey, listen, let's do this real quick because I've got to give Brother Chris credit. He always brings up some excellent videos for us, and I hate to, you know, let him go to waste. And so I'm going to ask him to do the first video for tonight, and then we'll continue the conversation.
As I begin this piece, allow me to start with a disclaimer. I will not address this issue solely through the lenses of my cultural paradigm, one that more times than often tends to address social issues as if white and black are the only two races that exist. As if African Americans are the only people in history who have experienced oppression, and as if racism, prejudice, and discrimination are the problems and not just symptoms of the disease. Brothers and sisters, I am obliged to be the doctor's prescribed prick in my people's pointer by passionately presenting my premise, and my premise is this. You see, I've noticed that when it comes to matters of social injustice, we so narrow-mindedly focus on skin color that our thoughts, words, and actions in response to the situations are more dangerously emotive than biblically directed. Resulting with pastors preaching political propaganda from the pulpit instead of presenting present problems from the perspective of scriptural precepts. Producing Protestants who, by product of the poisonous preaching, pompously prod at the preeminence of God, as if he owes the skeptic an audience. Beloved, what we haven't realized is that when we choose to depend on ourselves alone to fix matters such as racism, prejudice, discrimination, and police brutality, we're giving headache medicine to someone who has the flu, curing the symptom but not the sickness. And if we as Christians are to approach this issue, let us approach it biblically by understanding that the symptom is social injustice, but the sickness is sin. So if it is sin that is the sickness, then we as Christians need to understand that the true enemy is the ventriloquist and not the dummy. That true slavery is not slavery to the system, but slavery to sin. And that we may discriminate against one another, but sin and Satan have no prejudice. And he will use everything from the ignorant racist to the overly zealous ethnocentric Christian to cause confusion and strife among the people of God. So in times like these, it is imperative that we understand that the solution is not sanction, it's salvation. That we can impose laws and acts upon a man's morality, but only God can establish his kingdom upon a man's heart. That we can tell a man that he is free, but only God can break the chains. That if it is sin that is the problem, then it's the gospel that must be proclaimed, because you can be freed from social injustice and in your heart still be enslaved, because it's beautiful to be black, but it's miraculous to be saved. The root of social injustice says, there is enmity between you and I because I believe that my ways are better than yours. And at the heart of sin, there is enmity between us and God because we believe that our ways are better than his. And I am simply astonished at how passionately we attack sin when it is us who are on the receiving end. I am amazed at how quickly we withhold grace from those who need it when we receive much grace and we don't deserve it. Brothers and sisters, this isn't a rebuke but a plea. That we fight the true problem with the true answer. That we fight sin with salvation. And that we be confident that our present sufferings pale in comparison to the glory that will be revealed in all who have called upon Christ to free them from sin of any and all kind. So finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God so that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, so that you may be able to stand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. Let freedom ring.
Yeah.
Money, pride, and security.
I saw that one myself. My brother broke that down.
Yeah, he
That was
did.
beautiful. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That
it
touched
was.
me. I like that. Mhm.
Yeah, that was. That was a very, very, very powerful piece, man. And
Least we become like the enemy we protest against, man. You know
yeah,
that's powerful stuff there.
yeah,
Wow. hmm Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
And I was really glad that he hit that, incorporated that scripture in there, dealing with putting on the armor of God and dealing with the spiritual wickedness in high places, man. And we kind of like see all that kind of stuff going on. And I think one of the things we have to understand is when we read the word of God in the Bible, and we read it and we try to understand it and look at certain things. And you know, it's like the beast in us. It's like what separates man from becoming a beast is the Spirit of God. That's what separates us from being a beast. That separates us from being an animal. That Spirit of God. Without that Spirit of God, we are an animal.
There you go. That's powerful. You know, I was listening to that brother and I thought to myself, he really captured what Dr. King was trying to say and tried to live his entire life. He dealt with social issues. He worked against, you know, the principalities of evil and hatred and all that. But he always let love be his guiding force. He would not succumb to violence. He never even called, what's his name, Bull Connors and guys like that, the kind of names he probably could have called them.
Right.
He never dealt with that. He dealt with the sin of hatred, the sin of separation, the sin of apartheid, and the sin of just outright murder, the murder of the spirit, and the murder of the gospel, man. I mean, people were just taking the words of Christ and twisting them around and using them for hatred. In the midst of killing people, they still proclaimed the gospel. It's like, are you serious? Yeah, they were serious. That was powerful stuff. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Yeah. So, but anyhow, good piece, Chris. Thank you, brother. Again, for anybody that's tuned in, this is the Writers Wordshop. We come on every Friday night, right here on The Voice, 17104 Harrisburg, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's a free and open platform. We would love to have you. We are selective in terms of how we, allow people on. There's a flyer. Love that flyer. That's my wife, Patricia. And it tells you all the information you need to know. And if you're really interested, you can always give me a call at 717-608-2312. And also, you see, in fact, that let's see, I think that might be a mistake there, Chris. Can we go back again? Yeah, on the flyer, if you could change that, it says 608-2313. It's actually 608-2312. I just caught that. That's amazing. That's been up for a long time too. 608-2312 would be the actual number to call if you're interested in becoming a part of the Wordshop. And of course, you can always email us, and that was correct. P as in Pat, Gadsden, Gadsden at AOL.com. But if you want to reach us, call 608-2312 and just let us know that you really want to come on and why. And we would love to have you be a part of it. It used to be where we just throw the number out there and tell people come on. But we had one major incident, and then we had another attempt where somebody tried to come on and start throwing pornography out there, cussing, acting crazy, that kind of thing. I do want to mention something real quickly. One thing, when the brother first started off, I remember thinking to myself, okay, here we go. There's a lot of people out there who don't want to address social issues. And in my way of thinking, they try to hide behind God. And I looked at the life of Christ. Christ confronted all those devils. He wasn't afraid to talk about those leaders, that some of our people try to use that gospel thing as a shield in order to be, whatever they're trying to be. But not that brother. I can see that brother for righteousness. At the same time, he hit it right on the money. But we cannot become, we cannot become the carriers of sin and evilness within our hearts against our brothers and sisters without, praying for them and asking for grace upon them. And that they have changed hearts and changed ways. That's what I heard coming from him. But anyhow, having said all that, there's, and I was going to make a point about Dr. King. Dr. King was a prolific writer, by the way. And I hope that if you have not read any of his books, that you will take time to read it. Especially the letter from a Birmingham jail was a powerful piece that he wrote when he was incarcerated. He addressed the clergy of his day as to where they were, where they stood on these things. Also, where do we go from here? Another one of his books and so many others that he penned. And so remember, Dr. King was a prolific writer. And so hopefully you'll read his works. And then there have been so many books written on his life and who he is, So, one of the things I'm going to go back to the writing process real quick, brother, and I don't know if you've ever incorporated this, but I know you have a whole bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
Man, you told me you have how many dogs at home?
It's like about 13 of them.
13 dogs, brother. I mean, I couldn't even visit you if you had one. You got 13. I'm not a dog dude, man. Dogs don't like me for some reason. Anyhow, that's what I tell myself every time I see one. But anyhow, have you ever thought about how dogs play such an integral part in your life? Do you ever incorporate them in any kind of story, using them as a backdrop or a storyline or anything like that?
I haven't at this point. I am very close with my dogs, but I haven't incorporated them in any story at this time. I did put a little small piece in the storyteller, in the story called The Undead, which was a horror story. And I do mention I did incorporate one dog in that and had a couple of scenes, but not really.
Okay.
I haven't. And maybe as it depends. Like I said, it's a long way to go, a lot of different stories, but that is definitely something that I am open to doing, and something that I probably will do at some point, because I have thought about just writing a story with a dog's perspective of life, from the dog's eyes and what the dog is thinking and seeing.
Yeah.
So I have thought about doing that. So I will probably put that together at some point.
Oh man, that'd be a good one. And then you have 13, so and animals have their own personalities too. So you can almost, you could be looking at dogs coming to all kinds of stories. Hey, let me say this before I forget it. Man, last Saturday night we had a movie premiere here in Harrisburg, the 21st Century Band. A brother by the name of Daniel Fordham, who we all know and love. His father, in fact, was a writer as well. His father wrote a book about his days in the Negro Baseball League. And I'm happy to say that the Writers Wordshop played a hand in helping that book become published. Mr. Fordham owned a TV repair shop, and he had a small little shop right there on the corner of 4th and Peffer Street. And one day I'm walking past, my mother-in-law lived literally a half a block down from him, and he called me and he said, "Hey, Brother Gadsden," and I go in, and he's told me about this book. I had no idea that he played in the Negro Baseball League. Now, he's a man in the 70s at that time. And so he was trying to get it, published, didn't know how to go about it. He had sent it off, I think, the manuscript, and made some inquiries. I said, "Well, Brother Fordham, a lot of people are doing self-publication." He was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do that." And so he was really into, I wanted to, but then later he called me and he said, "Hey, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I'm interested." So we got the book done. I got him an ISBN number and a couple other things. And next thing you know, voila. Then we had him on our show, which is Life Esteem, comes on Sunday mornings. And then the Patriot News picked up on it and did a big expose on his book and his, So before he passed and went on to glory, he really was able to tell his story and relive his days in the Negro Baseball League. Having said that, his son, and I know he probably has more than one son, but Daniel Fordham Jr., I'll call him, is a brother who does, there it is, that's the 21st Century Band. And that was the ticket, okay. Tickets were on the billboard, Eventbrite. Let me say this. The place first he did it at the Regal Theater, and they had it in the largest theater at the Regal, which I don't know how many people it holds, but I know it holds, 400 or 500 people, I'm sure. But anyhow, it was standing room only. I had never seen that many people, just about all African American. There were whites who came, Hispanics who came, but I'm telling you, it was a African American community response that just was incredible. They had a red carpet, and I noticed that a number of people who were referenced or seen, talked about in the movie, actually came back. The one brother, Eddie Hinton, he's down. He told me he's down south now, and they never actually showed him in the movie, but they did mention the fact that he became a lead singer one time. This man wrote this story based on having lived and was the lead singer at periods of time for this 21st Century Band. And he told the story by first writing it out, then he made it into a movie. Man, what a response. And now they're going to show it again. I think he said August the 5th. I could be wrong, but look on Facebook and you'll see it. It's an encore production. Hats off to Danny Fordham, man. What a great story. He used local actors and actresses, plus he just used everyday people. And so, he just had them up there on the screen, man. And a lot of them were just small little vignettes. The guys who had the major parts did an excellent job. And they told the story of this band who ended up playing for some major acts. They played with Earth, Wind, and Fire and all these other groups. I can't even mention them all. But anyhow, great success. I'm just glad that Pat and I went. We had a great, there he goes. That's Danny Fordham. And of course, that's Vicky Pitts. Vicky's the photographer of Harrisburg, as far as I'm concerned. She gets everybody, but Danny did it up, man. And, the brother, and he's done a number of films, but that by far was probably his biggest success in terms of the storytelling, the production, and also response to it. So, again, thank you for writing it first, remembering it, and then honoring those people who were part of the 21st Century Band. And wow, what a story. Anyhow, good stuff. So, for those purposes, just tune in. Hopefully we'll be joined by the True group tonight if they try to get on. I did send Angela Bates the information on Zoom. How they can come in. And for those of you who are watching us on Zoom, thank you so much. I hope that you will like it and share and let us know that you enjoyed this program, and then let others see it as well. I do want to take hat off to Angie Bates real quick as well. She contacted me and asked me if I would come out to a particular facility, which I passed before, had no idea it was there. And it's a facility where young men, all high school students who are, experiencing some trouble in their life, in this program. And I think there was about 16 young men. You could tell, brothers got little things with them, but they're smart. They were very manable, and hopefully they're going to turn it around and be a blessing to this community. But I got a chance to address them, to talk to them about some of the things that I do and some of the great men and women from this community who have been doing it for years, and it was well received. So I'm looking forward to working with them on a continuous basis. And I do want to publicly thank Angela Bates for making that connection. And I was honored to to be a part of that. Hope I can get some young writers out of that group as well. I really do. Nicole Wilkerson is being honored tomorrow. We're doing this dinner. Going to a dinner. Deborah Lynn, who has a wonderful facility. She came with this idea, and she's honoring 10 women. And these 10 women are community activists and contributors. They're making things happen for real. And so we're so glad that our events coordinator and really good friend, Nicole Wilkerson, will be honored amongst as one of the 10. And that's going to take place tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And I forget exactly I know exactly where it is. I forget the name of the place that we're going to. But anyhow, if you go on Facebook, and you'll see this wonderful event coming up tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. And if you want to be a part of it, come on out. The tickets there's going to be a dinner and, these women honored and also entertainment. It's going to be a lot of fun. So having said that, let's keep on moving. So Brother Neil, we're talking about the process of writing. Did you have anything you wanted to cover, man, tonight? I don't want to just, of course, we'll just interview you and keep talking about it, but maybe something you want to cover. Okay. All right. Well, did you get a chance to hear any of Christine last week? Were you on when she came on?
No, I wasn't on last week.
I didn't think so. That's right. Yeah. Well, she did a great job. Christine is she's a poet, but she also wrote some essays, man, that really were really well done. The sisters from Cameroon, and the people she brought in, I think, were all from Cameroon as well. But she has her own business. She works with people who have intellectual, challenges. And then she traveled. She was in Africa just recently, doing a thing called Swag Her, and she works with women, African American women in particular, all over. African women, I should say, all over the country. And like I said, she's in the continent. I think they were in Rwanda, if I remember correctly. And they're doing it up, man. So good stuff. Hats off to Christine. She did a great job. And she has a book out that was outstanding. It's called Our Voices. I think it was called Our Voice. Let me see, Brother Chris looks like he's bringing up. Oh, this is Christine. She's the one on the right-hand side. And that is the cover of her book. And I believe that the lady standing closest to it may be the artist. But it's a wonderful cover. I love that cover. And like I said, that's Christine on the right-hand side. And of course, some of her sisters that she's working with. Christine's all that. She does a great job. And she's a great writer. She really laid some stuff out on this last week. And she was on for the whole 2 hours. That was great. So anyhow, thank you, Christine. So, man, one of the things that, we talk about is how do we, encourage the generation that's going to come up behind us. And so have you been asked to come to schools and speak or talk about your books? Have you had an opportunity to interface with some of our youth, whether they be, teenagers or young adults, and talk to, about your books and the writing process and all that?
Yeah, I have, and in person and also online with some youngsters from different parts of the world, Africa, and different things. Like one young brother had he wanted to enter a contest for short stories, and he needed his story edited. He didn't have the money to get it edited. So he sent it to me. I told him to send it to me, so I'll send it to my editor and have him edit it for you and get it over to him. So I did that, but I don't know if he wanted that because I didn't hear back from him.
Yeah.
After that, I don't know if he was successful. But there's a lot of different people that reach out to me and talk to me about what they can do and how they can be inspired and motivated, what some of their challenges are,
Mhm.
you know, and as you sit down, the main thing is that you have to just believe in yourself.
Right. Amen.
And you're going to encounter some negativity. You're going to encounter negative vibes, negative information, people who, you know, you're going to encounter those kind of things. You have to be strong enough to persevere. You're going to have some disappointments. You're going to have rejections.
That's right.
I mean, you're going to be a lot of different things. You're going to have, and you have to basically be able to just deal with it. But you got to have an open mind
Yes.
so that you can accept some of your errors. Because I've counted some people who just won't accept anything you say. They don't take the criticism constructively.
Yes, absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
they become offended by it, and then they just shut down and they don't want, you know,
Mhm.
and that's not it. I'm just trying to, you hand this to me and you want me to analyze it for you. I'm going to break it down, ask you some questions about it and certain things. You
Yeah.
know, you got a scene in here. You got to make your scene realistic, and you just can't do something and say, well, then how about this? I mean, you gotta. And I said, well, you know, it's being constructive. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying we need, okay, this is a good thing, but you need to put something, because I'm asking myself as reader, well, why didn't he say that? Why didn't he do this? And you need to be, you know, you need to be prepared for that. So I mean, it's a lot involved. And it's a lot of challenges. It is. It's a tough thing, especially if you're young, you're independent. Even if whatever your age is, if you're trying to accomplish anything in life, you know, whatever it may be, out there trying to play basketball. You know, the thing is that if you have the potential, that's how dreams come true, with potential and will.
Yes. Yes.
You know, you have to have that. That's how dreams come true. You know, and so you got to have that potential. You got to have that. I mean, there's no need you out there trying to be this if you don't have the potential. Okay, so you got to have the potential. You know, and if you got that, then you know, and this is just a matter of will, and just go with it. And so that's how people become except, you know, like, you know, with potential, like for like basketball, Muggsy Bogues is a very example of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I mean, a little dude like that is an example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, well, you don't have the potential because you're only 5'3". No, it ain't got nothing to do with it.
No.
That's not potential. But what my size is not dealing with potential.
God can play, man. He can
go. Can I play? And I have talent. You know? And I mean, to make it to that level, it's amazing.
And he had the drive to do it, you know that.
Yeah, he had the drive to do it, the will to do it, and there you go. And see, and he didn't. I mean, I don't know how many people talking about, man, you too short, you ain't gonna this and that.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely,
he ignored that and he went on, and that's what I mean. That's the kind of stuff you have to have. You got to be strong like that, because people, man, will try to bring you down. Unfortunately, like the brother was talking about, we talk about sins and all that. People try to bring you down.
Oh, no question. Yeah, I mean that's their mission.
Yeah, that's what they're there. They're there to bring. They did, and a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's not that a person is just a bad person and they're just bad. It's just that whatever their character flaws are. Yeah. And we have these flaws as characters, and we end up doing things and saying things that is influenced. That's what I like about the story of the devil, because the devil is nothing but a thought. Okay, that's all the devil is a thought. And we are the ones who turn that thought into action. Yeah. He just give us the thought. Oh, yeah. And we the ones that decide to turn it into action. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know? No question about it. No question. And that's a big challenge, because that's one of the things, like when Jesus talked about we have to overcome the world. That's a big thing to think with, because what you're dealing with is you got to overcome your feelings.
Yeah, that's right.
because every feeling brings a thought, and every thought brings a feeling. And feelings are very, very strong. If I say the flesh is weak,
That's right.
feelings are very, very strong. The urges and all this. I mean, these are things we have to fight. That's how you get drug addicts and alcoholics and all these kind of things. And murder. So it's like, it's the battles within ourselves. And that's in everything you do. That's the battle within ourselves.
That's right. And then they say the battle's not yours, it's the Lord's. If you realize that this is God's battle. Why? Because we're fighting against sin.
Right.
And God's going to call out sin. He's going to destroy sin. But when we become parties to it and begin to like it, you know what I mean? It's like we separate ourselves from the gospel, and next thing you know, we're stuck in sin and can't see the way out. But I always like what Trip Wilson used to say, the devil made me do it. Blame it on the devil. Okay, the devil made you do it. All right. He gave you, like you said, the opportunity, and then you seized it. Okay?
Right. That's it. That's what he did. And that's so that's just a big piece that we have to encounter in life. And that's one of our challenges.
That's right.
That we have to perfect in our growth, that we're able to overcome these type of things, so that we don't fall, and we end up losing our soul.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to me as a writer. We use, first off, they say writers write, so we have to write. The question is, what are we writing about? And sometimes we're not writing about those things that are real. We're way out here and here, there, that kind of stuff. But as you do, you incorporate real research into your work. So the story is powerful, and the story leaves the message. Why? Because it's based out of some truth, and it's a thing that most people can relate to, because it's like, oh, wait a minute, I had that emotion before. I had that happen to me before. Oh, I can see that, that kind of thing. And then that's what people are drawn to. They're drawn to something that they can actually see themselves in. I see myself in that story in some way, shape, or form. I might not even know that as I'm watching it, but there's something that's causing me to continue to watch the story, to read the story, to listen to the story. We start seeing ourselves. Okay, there's our people. 8 o'clock. Yeah, the true folks. There they go. Hey, all right. Miss Angela. I don't know if she can hear us.
Well, she's on mute right now.
Yeah, she's mute. Yeah. She'll get it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what I'm gonna set up for them.
Okay, very good. Well, we have Mr. Neil Owens and myself are on, and we're glad to see you guys again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see all kinds of chips. You got some Lay's chips out there. Wait a minute now. You ain't sharing with us. How about that, Neil?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
I was just talking.
I'm sorry. What I'll do is I'll put this on mute until you want or say something to them, and then I'll take it off mute.
Oh, we're ready. We're ready for you now. It's up to you.
Oh, okay. Somebody want to leave? I didn't bring nothing, and I don't want to bring nothing. Okay, they want to listen to you for a while.
Okay, we can do that. We can talk. Yeah, we can talk. Yeah. Let me just say this very quickly, that one of the things we're really proud of for the Harrisburg area, I understand they had a nice talent show for John Harris this past, when was that? I guess, I don't know, last Sunday, I think it was. And I saw it on Facebook, and so it looked like they had a great program. And I noticed that Kava Brunson, who is the executive director for our local AXO program and the director for the state AXO programs, mentioned that Mr. Larry Moore, who puts on a lot of these productions, he has Larry Moore Productions, he apparently had a major hand in this. I didn't know anything about it. My wife and I both said the same thing. What? We happened to see it on the news, but anyhow, the kids did a great job. But some of the AXO kids apparently participated, and that was good. For those who don't know, we have 16 young people who will be going to the National AXO competition on July the 25th. I think we're leaving out, and we'll be there from Tuesday through Sunday in Boston, Massachusetts. And we have a whole list of young people who are participating as singers, dancers, artists of all types, also in medicine, in, other fields too. So I think we even have a playwright who was only in the 9th or 10th grade who won gold medal locally. She's out of Milton Hershey School, I believe. So it's gonna be quite a trip. We have, like I said, 16 young people, staff from the AXO program, Carver Brunson, Damali Murray Brunson, my wife and I, and others. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. But we're really gonna be rooting on our young people because we know Harrisburg can hold their own. We had a gold medalist last year and the bronze medalist out of that national competition. And we had an essay winner who won $10,000. So that's all. So first off, let's introduce True. I don't mind if you would just take and tell the audience about True, and it can be anybody. It can be the director there, or it can be one of the students. And then also we'll talk about why you guys come on, how we do this once a month. So Angela, if you could unmute, and if someone could tell us about True and maybe what's going on.
Yes, Mr. Eric.
Excellent. Hey, Mr. Eric, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, this is Neil Owens. Neil, that's Eric. He runs the True program. He's the director. Tell us about True.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so what True is, it's TRU, stands for Tobacco Resistance Unit, and it is a youth empowerment program in Pennsylvania that is funded by the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement funding, which is, in a nutshell, tobacco prevention and cessation funding that's in Pennsylvania through the Department of Health. And what we do is we work on youth peer-to-peer tobacco prevention education. And we do a lot of advocacy at the state capitol, and we talk to our local legislators and other statewide legislators, decision makers, policy makers on the importance of the funding and tobacco control in Pennsylvania. Some of the things they got accomplished in the past couple of years that we're really proud of is passage of the Clean Indoor Air Law in Pennsylvania. We do have a law now. It's a little weak, but we're still working on it. They were able to get legislation through to up the age to purchase tobacco products from age 18 to age 21 in Pennsylvania. And there's another one. What's our other big accomplishment? I guess that's about the funding. Yeah, we are always advocating to save the funding every year because our lawmakers at the Capitol, it's a pool of money that they feel they can touch and redirect it somewhere else, but it's important, or else we wouldn't have youth out there educating other youth on the harmful effects of tobacco products. And our overall goal is to be the first ever tobacco-free generation.
Nice. Wow. That's a lofty goal. Tobacco-free generation. Okay. Yeah. But I do believe that we're headed that way. More and more people, I don't know, the statistics suggesting more teenagers, more young people are smoking or not smoking.
Yeah, that's good. It's been about a good 20 years of these programs in place. We're able to get youth traditional cigarette smoking way down, almost to non-existent. Mm-hmm. However, vaping products now are making up that difference. So we haven't made a lot of progress as far as tobacco products across the board because the industry is constantly creating new products to keep young people addicted or to get them interested and get them addicted. And they know once they have them at a young age, then they're a lifelong customer. Yeah. So vaping products now is a major focus because it's kind of counteracting on what we've done with traditional cigarette smoking in youth.
Good stuff. Well, again, so glad you guys are there. I remember when you made the visit and you met with State Representative Patty Kim and everything. My video keeps going out on me. Sorry about that. But anyhow, good stuff. And I'm glad you come on. It's a month, mostly, and we try to, get you to write a little bit. And you have some too. Is anybody still writing amongst the, the group?
Yeah, we have one. We have a few here. A couple of the older girls that are going to college this year. They are not here right now. Mm-hmm. But Kristen's going to be ready to write. Kristen, are you ready? Not yet. Okay, so
okay.
Still have one. Okay. We have a couple that might pop up
Okay,
before the night's over.
all right.
Never
Good,
know.
good.
We're getting them there. Today, they just did, you want to tell them what you did today? About the history of Pennsylvania? They did a little readout on, since they were at the Capitol, let me show them the book. Since they were at the Capitol, we
Uh-huh.
have different books like this about our house and different
Hmm.
things with the with the state of Pennsylvania. I don't know what this is. Anyway, so we had them read this. They paired up and they read out and gave us some histories and facts about Pennsylvania.
Good, excellent, 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 good stuff. All right. And some of the
Oh,
folks,
you want to talk to them about that? You want to tell them about your glasses? Okay, so today we also did, we have one student that want to tell you about his superhero powers. We did the glasses. I told you that I did this for every group this week in Harrisburg. So these are our superpower glasses. So he's gonna tell you who he is as a superhero and his power and how he can help others.
I like it, okay.
Defensive man.
No, you're right, receiver.
Alright, so this is what. So this is kind of the glasses I have,
Okay,
and my I'm like I like football a lot, so I don't know what kind of name I have. I'm about to make one soon, but I'm just gonna call it wide receiver because I want to be a wide receiver like it.
I like
And
it. Wide receiver.
and helping people, if they have like something like that, like something bad happens to them, or like a lot of like things happen, I could just take it away because the wide receiver catch, and I could just take it away, and then they'll happen.
So he wants to take all the negativity away from people and bless them with all the happiness that they can have in life while he takes on their negative energy.
I like it, I like it. Now tell me your name again.
Well, I don't have a name yet, but it's just a wide receiver. And my real name? Oh, my real name is
Jamari.
Amari, okay, Amari, good stuff. What grade are you in, Amari?
Hmm?
What grade?
I'm in 7.
Okay, all right, very good, man. Keep up the work. Good stuff. I'm glad to see you're part of this group. Isn't it? You guys look like you're having a feast over there. My goodness. I'm hungry too. I don't know, Neil. What'd you think, man? So this is Mr. Neil. I think some of you may have met him before. He's a novelist, and he's been doing some great works. In fact, he's doing a piece called The Storyteller. That's going to come out either later this year or the first part of 2024 or in 2024. And Neil, I don't know if you have anything, words of wisdom for the young people in terms of encouraging them to write.
Just continue to keep being positive, and it seems like you have very good leadership over there. You got some good role models. You got strong support. Trust in that. Stick with it. Stay focused on that. I mean, because it's very, very important.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I hope that you guys do understand, that people have they're giving their time and energy to, is that Miss Lillian? Okay, hey, Miss Lillian's out here. How are you? Good seeing you. Okay. Yes, indeed. And so, Miss Lillian, I'm sure she talked about her trip, her most recent trip. So we'll talk about that too. So are you guys doing any writing at all, Angela? Are they doing any writing at all? You're muted right now.
They are doing, we just did journaling.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so they did some journaling today, and they did their readout for the book report. And so now from the telling us about the different reports that they had to do about Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They all did that. And Kristen are you done, Kristen? He's almost done.
He wrote haikus.
Yeah, the last things we did were the haikus. I think those were the last things we did. Yeah, so I don't know. We want to get out there. We want to build these kids up to be able to go out there, do some outreach and talk about what we're doing. So we got to come up with something for these young ones that are going to be here. These are the ones that's not they'll be here next year with us.
So what if we put on a major production, a play based on the work that you're doing? I mean, something that we could really put on a major stage and do it, down at the State Museum or something. And
Okay.
let us people really get into plays. And you know, we could help you guys. I mean, you could write it, but we could help you with the writing and editing and all that kind of stuff, the staging, get some folks behind it.
Yeah,
And
think about
you know, take it big. Why
Gonna
not?
Yeah, sounds
Let's
good. We'll do a
let's
play.
do it.
Do a play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. On the effects of tobacco, on you know how it's, you know, they're trying to, industry's trying to hook young people so that they'll be lifelong users and all that kind of stuff. And you know, that's good stuff. Yeah. All right, so let's make that a project.
Okay.
I'm serious. Let's do it.
Okay.
I'll get some solicit the writers workshop folks, and you know, we'll just talk about how do we make this happen, and we'll make it happen. No question about it.
Okay. All right. Well, could you stop making a mess? Pull your plate over. I'm sorry. They're eating.
Well, listen, I know you. Listen, you in charge. I know you do what you do, and they need that. So that's good. Everybody needs that. That's good stuff. Now, I understand the young man's working on something, so we're gonna, you know, look forward to him.
You want to pull out of it? No, you first. You always have to have someone else to do it, Mother. Shine.
That's the writer right there. I remember her.
Yeah, I know. She's trying to listen. Right.
You know,
Okay.
Go ahead, Neil.
well, you know, I think they probably want somebody to break the ice, so I
They
can,
do. I know.
Well,
I
Neil's
know.
gonna read something for him.
I'll read a
okay?
little something
Okay.
to break the ice.
I'll put you on mute. That way they can chomp away. And I won't be
Okay.
fussing.
And listen up though. This is Neil Owens. He's out of North Carolina, and he's a novelist.
This is a story called The Night I Gave Thanks to the Snow. To give you a little bit of backdrop, it's a young man and a young lady has knocked on his door because her vehicle is a storm suddenly appeared, and the unexpected storm occurred, and her vehicle is flat tire. She don't have a spare, so she asked to use this phone, and there's a conversation going on, and so he's there. So this is just going to pick up a scene real quick. So I just want to get your backdrop what's happening. So it's a young black man with a young black woman who has entered his house, who he's trying to help get home.
Okay.
Distraught, I seen her boyfriend would arrive any minute, so I ended the wishful thinking and voice activated one of my playlists. A few songs later, Luella entered. She was swaying and said, "I like your playlist." I grinned in the hope of another minute with her. She continued to flash her dance moves as she sat on the other end of the sofa and paused on the song that followed as if the lyric had caught her attention. The song had words about moving on from a relationship. When the song ended, she began asking questions as if she was on a speed date. I could see an attraction in her eyes and felt the same from her voice. But was it my imagination? Was it only wishful thinking? I believed it was both and took her words as nothing more than a friendly personality. As we continued to converse on multiple topics, she said, "I'm really lucky you were home. I don't believe in love." You don't? What do you call it? The presence of God. I could see in her eyes that she wanted to know me personally. But was it my imagination? Was it only wishful thinking? The strength of my manhood stood without a doubt, but the weakness of my manhood was persuaded by the doubtful mind. I'll stop there.
Okay. Good stuff. Is that one of the short stories from your
Yeah, that's one of the short stories from the storyteller.
Okay, very good. Vivid. You always write good stuff where you can actually see it, you know. Hey, Angela and Eric, you know, I do have if you can unmute for a minute, I do have a challenge for the young people. And I don't know if Brother Chris can pull that magazine up for us again.
Okay.
We have an online magazine. I don't know if you or the young folks have seen it, but it's free. And we're looking for articles, we're looking for poetry, looking for a little bit of everything. My challenge is to have all the students who are participating in True to write just a statement, a success statement, we'll call them. Something that would be uplifting. It doesn't have to be a long story, it doesn't have to be a poem. It just could be something that you say, you know, whatever. I mean, but that would encourage people to do right, live right, you know, stay in school, don't smoke, however you want to take it. And we will publish those in the next issue, which will come out in August, in our Writers Workshop magazine. And to Eric and Angela and to Miss Lillian, if you guys want to write something about True, or tell us a little bit about True, and even with pictures, whatever, this is all free. We just put it in the magazine and do a little article on the True program. And there's a copy. I don't know if you can see it. It's small. It's bigger than that, of course. But anyhow, if you can see inside, oh no, can you make it a bit larger there? Okay. Yeah, but it is online. And so we've distributed widely. We're going to send it out as far as we possibly can. And we received really good comments. That was the first issue that we've had out. It came out for July. So the August issue will feature some writings by Neil Owens, our guest tonight. Neil's not a guest, he's a member of the Writers Workshop. And then also others. We have Wendy No Cherry Onye is on there. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Chris. And so, and I don't know if you can turn the pages for us like you did before. Show you a little bit of the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you know, in fact, some of you may be in that picture there. That's the picture when we were down at the Midtown Scholar bookstore. Some of you young folks, and you can see another reader at the bottom there. So another page. All right. You see, we have advertisement and stuff like that. So if you want to advertise in the magazine, you can. And some of you may know Miss Nicole. She's the one at the top there. That's one of the stories. I think that's by Wendy No Cherry Onye. You've met her before. She's an excellent writer, poet. You know. All right. That's the continuation of the story and TW Publishing. I got to get you guys to meet Terry Martinez. She's actually a publisher. So some of you may be interested in getting the book published, and she's doing a lot of work for a lot of people here in the Harrisburg area, including the Writers Workshop. So she's our official publisher, so to speak. But she has what's called TW Publishing, and she gets things up on, you know, all the various platforms. Yeah, so that's what that's about. But I would love for you guys to consider just writing, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything long, but it can be powerful statements from the True program participants, students, and if one of the adults would like to, or you know, a combination would like to write just something about the True program and some of the things that you mentioned, some of your successes, things that you've done. We'll make sure that the article gets into if either the August edition or maybe the September. But we'd love for you to submit something. Our deadline is usually the 15th of the month, and if we go a couple of days over, it's no big deal. But yeah, you know, if everybody can just commit to saying something positive, that'd be great. We'll try to put your name, you know, you can even put your, if you want your age in school and all that kind of stuff, we can do that as well. But what you think? True?
Sounds good. Yes, we would like to do that.
Okay, so today is what, the 7th? So if we're looking at maybe, could you have something done by the 14th?
Yeah, put them all together. We can start there.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be
And
fine.
then just
Okay.
we can type them all up.
Okay. So Mr. Eric has their haikus. He said he'll type them up. And then he has a bio about True, so he can just send that along with it.
Fantastic. Well, let me tell you, you want to send it to, and I will, Angie, I will text it to you, but it's the Writers Workshop Online. Writers Workshop Online at gmail.com. Writers Workshop Online at gmail.com. Real simple. In fact, if you go to, I think Brother Chris just had the flyer up. And if you go to my page, you'll see the flyer or the page for Nicole Wilkerson, or even on, I'd imagine might be even on The Voice. But it's, yeah, here you go. Chris, now that's what the flyer looks like. And you can see at the very bottom, Writers Workshop Online at gmail.com.
Writers Workshop Online
At gmail.com.
@gmail.com.
Yep, writing workshop online at gmail.com. And if some of your students, if you have a piece that you would like to submit beyond just what we're talking about right now, your poetry or whatever, we'd love to have it. We're gonna publish it. Now, there's a certain form that they want to send in, like PDF or something like that. They don't want to have to type it all the way over. So if you're interested in sending something in, reach out to me or, through Miss Angie, whatever, and I'll make sure that you know the proper format to send it in. And it'll be 1, 2, 3, just like that. And we do, like I said, distribute it very widely. So it's going to not just in the country, it goes all throughout the, the world, wherever someone can grab hold of it, it's going to be there. Yeah. Mr. Owens, to hear that or not, I hope you were, because I thought it was powerful. And he broke it down as to what the storyline was kind of about. Anybody have any comments on the story that was that you did, the vignette that you heard from the story? Anybody? Right now you're muted. If you do, let us know. So here's the thing. We have a writer on, and I always like to ask questions. So this is your opportunity if you're an aspiring writer or you have something in mind that you just want to ask, even outside of writing. We're on, Mr. Owens, myself, and we'd love to converse with you guys. And I want to hear the young man's piece. I know he's finishing up, but when he's ready, I'd like to hear his piece. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm going to ask Brother Chris to show a video so you can all see the video. And then when that video is over, if you have a question or comment or something like that, we'd like you to come in and feel free to come in and ask questions of us, okay? So let's watch this video together.
Dear low self-esteem, I wanted you to know I hate you. Not only for taking so many years of my life, but for trying to take over my present too. You said so many bad things about me in my mind, and I believed they were true. All this while, I thought I was leading my own life, not knowing it was you, and I did not even have a clue. You were that small, still voice constantly telling me I'm not, I can't, I won't, I'm not good enough, I wish I knew. Do you know how many opportunities have passed me by because of every single word you told? I bought all your lies, and telling me I was not good enough was the greatest lie you ever sold. You said I was doomed for failure, so each time I tried to move forward, my feet became ice cold. Did you know? I avoided certain associations because you'd always say, what relation does grass have with pure gold? And obviously I was the grass, so I chose to live in isolation, even though I longed for someone to talk to, a hand to hold. Did you know? I avoided mirrors because you said I was not beautiful. I cared less what I wore because pretty dresses and nice shoes would still make me look dreadful. My heart beat 100 times faster each time I stepped out of my room. You made me so fearful. The seed you sowed within me of self-hate grew greater than the mustard tree. Yes, your words were that powerful. You got so deep in my head, nothing I tried to flee from you was helpful. But with time I discovered talents and made friends, knew God who saw the best in me. Yes, they opened my sight. Everything you said about me was false anyway. I'm not here for the past, I came here for a fight. You really think you can steal my joy and make me your puppet, right? Get my sun, moon and stars and toss them into your life sucking night? Well, I have some words for you. My fists are ready to hit you till you're down, and I'll use all my might. What kind are you that only knows how to take, sucking happiness and joy from your victim's life by telling them what's fake? No one can want to be associated to you because all you know is to break. And clinging to you is a choice no one can make. So I'm now on your trail and I'll be stalking you. Next time you try to take over someone else's life, you won't just have broken bones, your very life will be at stake.
That's a powerful concept. What do you think of that? Hey, Nan Swanson joined us. Okay, Nan, how you doing? All right. What'd you think of that concept? True folks. She was talking to her self-esteem.
Yeah. We're talking. Okay, what y'all think?
It was good. It was
You're
good.
emotional? Okay.
Very emotional, yeah. I heard you say it was awesome, yeah. Yeah, she is, I think she was from South Africa, just based on her name and also her accent. Yeah, I think she's South African, yeah. And that's a beautiful piece though. I like the way she spoke to herself. Nanette, welcome. How you doing?
Good, yeah.
Okay.
I heard a little bit of it and about self-esteem. I just was watching Tamron Hall today, and it was a young man on there that his dad, you know, the mom was a single mom. The dad left them. They were like, and he told them that they would never be nothing. He had his brother and himself and his mom. They were homeless for a while, but then, you know, he spoke to himself and he became this great pianos player. And he was on Tamron Hall today. And it was very good because his self-esteem, his dad, you had told him he would never be nothing. But you hear that a lot from young people or people that have a testimony that their father or somebody told them, the teacher said they'd be nothing, or, you know, and here they are, you know, they overcame it.
Yes.
They
Yes.
overcame it.
It can happen. Let's
Yeah.
welcome also Lizelle Powder. How you doing?
Hi, Lizelle.
Good night. Hi.
Yes,
I've
good.
been trying to get on since 10 past.
Oh,
What happened?
no. What happened? Is it no one let you in?
Yeah, what happened? The Zoom, I don't normally download. I normally pull it up on Google. That's Google Zoom and come in. So
Yeah.
normally the app will be on my, you know, on the computer, but it wasn't there. So I had to start everything all over.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see
To
what
get
you're
in.
saying. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, and yeah, but I'm thank you for being on. I'm glad to see you here. And thank you, Nanette, for talking about, you know, what you saw on Tamron Hall. That's powerful. Yes, indeed. And I hope that resonated, the piece that we just heard resonated with the young folks there too. You know, by the way, I was just asking them to, oh, okay, we're gonna have a presentation too. I was asking them to submit to the magazine, and I hope that all of you are going to submit something. The deadline usually is around the 15th of the month, which gives you another whole week, right? And if it's a couple of days late, don't worry about that. But you want to send it, whatever you submit, whether it be poetry, whether it be you know, a short story. And generally, a short story is more like 1,000 to 1,500 words. You know, we've had much longer pieces submitted, but that's pretty much what they're looking for. And also, it could be an advertisement. You can also advertise, or it could just be a little bio piece, whatever, you know, essay, whatever you have in mind. We have an online magazine now. Have you seen it, Lizelle?
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Nanette?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll show it again. Our brother Chris has showed it, but we'll show it again before we get off. But it's called the Writers Wordshop Online magazine. It's free and it's there for anybody to submit works, you know, and if we feel like the works are appropriate, of course, you know, we're wide open. And we just had our first issue. It's on Facebook. It's all over the place. And we had a first issue posted. And it's really well done. Sarita Henderson is her name. She is our person putting it all together for us. And then our ads are being taken by Nicole Wilkerson. She did a fantastic job of bringing the ads in. And then, of course, we have all the great writers. At this time, we have a young man who's going to read a piece from True Understanding. Is that right? We're muted right now.
Okay.
All right. They're ready.
Tell them who you are.
Kristen Kelly.
Okay, we're ready for you.
I'm 18. I'm 18 now. I was born back in 2005, making my way all the way up to where I am now. But I gotta go back. I want to go back to a time that was nicer, back to a time that was more frantically clean, back to a time where I used to watch movies that was only PG-13, no one screamed. I started watching horror at 14. My mama said turn it off, it'll make you mean, but I watch it out of content. And Boys in the Hood, so now I know what it's like to be mean. I know what it's like to feel free, but now I fear me. I fear all the different tragedies. I fear my neighbor's life, like I'm watching Death Row in quarantine. I used to make a buck free doing chores and things, taking my dog out late nights, seeing things, time of a different me. Times that I used to go to school and record fights free. Time when I got different intentions for reckless things, careless things, undermining me. Times when I got called worthless, a nobody. I used to cry and sing songs of depression, the hopeless things. I lost a legend. He went by X. I thought I was seeing things, but sadly I wasn't. That was the real thing. I'm 18 now, and I have a full of regrets. The sad things. I should have broke up with her and left. Maybe I'd still be free, but now I'm haunted by my past. It's holding me. I can't breathe, but I was. But I was taught to forgive, and now I have enemies. I'm 18.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Give it up.
It's good.
So tell us a little bit about that piece. Tell us a little bit about it. Why did you write it? What inspired you to write that?
Just, you know what I'm saying, when I get into these little meetings, I zone out and just think to myself, back to a time that was much nicer, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, real good. So I noticed when you were reading, and I want others to step in, let me get other comments too, but I noticed when you were reading, you had a sort of a cadence that you started going into, you know, because sometimes when people are reading, they use like that rap kind of cadence, if you know what I'm saying, right? So have you thought about maybe slowing it down? Or did you kind of like, say it again?
I mean, since I am a songwriter, I usually go fast tempo. That's why.
So you're caught between the rest. Is it a song? Is it, you know, is it rap? Is it poetry? Is it spoken word? You know, so do me a favor, and then I'll just get others to comment. Just read it, start again. Don't read the whole thing, just start reading it. But this time, just read it nice and slow so that we can just hear every single, like emphasize everything you're saying, you know, like with power. And then, but just read it. So we want to hear every word.
With power, all right, bet. I'm 18 now. I was born back in 2005, making my way all the way up to where I am now.
Wait a minute, slow down. I want you to really slow down. Say it again, start from the beginning, but slow down, okay?
I'm 18 now. I was born back in 2005, making my way all the way up to where I am now. But I gotta go back. I wanna go back. Back to a time that was nicer. Back to a time that was more frantic, clean. Back to a time where I used to watch movies that was only PG-13. No one screams. Started watching horror when I was only 14. My mama said, turn it off. It will make you mean. But I watched it out of content and Boys in the Hood. So now I know what it's like to be mean. I know what it's like to fear free, but now I fear me. I fear the different tragedies. I fear for my nana's life like I'm watching Death Row in quarantine.
Okay, you can stop right there. Stop right there for a minute. Can I just say, for me, I'm just speaking for me now. It's not, you know, that's a good piece, first off. Second off, I like it when you slow it down, and I want to hear every word. That's just me. Because when I hear poetry, I hear people rapping, if I don't understand what they're saying, it don't matter to me. I've already tuned out. I'm just sitting there like, you know, but I want to hear you, you know. But that piece is so good because it's you, and you're telling us something about you. And I want to hear that, but I wanted to hear it from the standpoint of it being something that's seriously said. It don't have to be performed for me. I'm just talking about me. I want it to be said for me because I want to hear it. And by the way, that's a good piece. That's my estimation. So anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, I want to make a comment on that. I'm glad that you said that, Nate, because when he read it at the slow pace, I could feel the emotion in it. You know, I could feel it. It was impactful because you could see it coming from his heart and the feelings. I mean, and that's important that the person get that feel that you was coming at, because it's deep, man. It's very it's very profound. It's right there on point. It's coming from you. And yes, the first read was you could get it, but you couldn't get all of it clearly as you was going through it. When you slowed it down, it's like, wow, you really felt it, man. I really felt what you was talking about. You know, I connected with you. I was right there with you on that. I was like, wow, yeah, that's some deep stuff. Going back to that, and that really had an impact. So that was good, man. That's some good stuff. So you gotta
Should I continue? I mean, I'm almost
yeah.
done.
Go ahead.
I said death row during quarantine. I used to make $1 free doing tours and things, taking my dog out late night, seeing things. Times of a different me. Times when I used to go to school and record fight for free. Times when I got detentions for reckless things, careless things, undermining me. Times when I got called worthless, a nobody. I used to cry and sing songs of depression, the hopeless things. I lost a legend, not by ex. I thought I was seeing things, but sadly I wasn't. That was the real thing. I'm 18 now, and I have a pool full of regret. The sadder things. I should have broke up with her. Maybe I still be free, but now I'm haunted by my past. It holds me. I can't breathe. But I was taught to forgive, and now I have my enemies. I'm 18.
All right.
That's right. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
like you said, Nate, when you hear the words and when it's pronounced and you because I make announcements at my church, and if somebody get up and say, well, I don't need a mic, or I don't, there's some people that don't hear well. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So I like the pronunciation and the talk, louder, and just bring it out. That was really good. I like what he said, because it was real life. It was his real life.
Yeah.
It happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, thank you for sharing. And you just wrote that tonight, right?
Yeah, Kristen.
You just wrote that. You just wrote that, right?
Yeah, it is on the now.
Okay, good, man. Yeah. That's good. So you know what? Walk with it, because you just wrote it. So you gave birth to it. So now, revisit it a little bit and see how you want to, if you wanted to clean it or change it a little bit, whatever. But that's a good piece. You have to keep that, man, and then let it have life. You know what I'm saying? And I love the theme of I'm 18. Because you're speaking for a whole bunch of people in that line. There's a whole bunch of 18-year-olds who say, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. We have another one.
Okay.
Great.
Tiana, go ahead. Oh no. Oh, there you go.
Hi.
Hey, Tiana. Okay.
I have a couple.
We just start with one.
Okay. A lot of my poetry is very dark, so okay. All right. This one is called Monsters. One-eyed and hairy with 25 toes. They crawl under your bed, they tickle your nose. Are you afraid of the dark, the crackling floorboards down the hall? Will you let out a scream? Will you be scared at all? So why be afraid of what we can't see? Maybe the monster resembles a man with power and authority. Sirens and batons, all eyes on me, my hands on the dash. My body trembles, but all they can see is a monster, a criminal, something so cynical. Counting down the seconds till my moments are few, praying we'll make it out of here alive. But wait, there's not just one of them, there's two. Don't step out of the car, roll up the window and drive off the highway of horrors if you want to make it to sunrise. But if you stay, then there goes another, an uncle, a cousin, a father, a brother. But how can I explain this to a world who won't understand? But maybe you will, if my blood is on your hands.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a classic there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a classic there. Yes, and I mean, wow.
It was good.
I mean, wow, that's impactful on, I realize what you're saying. I hope everybody in there realized what you were saying. I mean, you know, she delivered a heavy message there, man. You know, I mean, that was deep. That was very deep.
It's actually a poetry, what do you call them, online piece, and they call it dark poetry. So, you know, you can call it that if you want to. That was real poetry as far as I'm concerned, because you talked about something that, as Brother Owens is reacting, he's saying, hey, you're speaking to something that's very real. And you gave life to a situation, a concern that people have, especially women. And so, yeah, it is what it is. And so I always say to a person, so make sure you give it life, make sure you have something in mind for that piece. Because a lot of times people read something, you wonder where's it going to go. So I hope you have a book in mind, an anthology in mind. And, you know, and don't label yourself as dark, because a lot of times people do that. And then it's almost like they're ashamed of saying it, or it's like, well, excuse me, I hope you don't judge me because I'm writing this. No, it's your piece. Give it life. Sonia Sanchez has a piece about a little girl who's being taken, a woman who's on crack, and she literally sells her baby to a guy in order to get her hit. And the baby is abused. The little girl, I say baby, little girl's abused by this guy. And she realizes what she's done after she comes down the whole bit. And that's a tough piece to listen to, whatever. But boy, when she does that piece, it's like, don't tell me that's not real, it's real. So good writing, okay? Good writing, keep writing. And thank you for sharing that, yeah. Lizelle, you've been quiet. Do you have any comments on that, Lizelle? You're a good poet.
Everything sounded good. It was great.
I didn't hear you.
It was great.
Okay.
I have a question before she continue with the next one. Back to the brother who wrote his piece. I want to ask you a question. Are you planning on putting those words to a beat? Are you planning?
Yeah.
No, but my song is coming out soon.
Say it again.
No, but my song is coming out soon.
Okay, so what song is that?
My song cover is called "Playing Games" by me personally.
Okay.
Yeah, that piece could even be a rap song.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was saying you could put that definitely in some beats too on that.
Yeah.
My type of tempo is more chill vibes. No, it just doesn't fit my type of vibe.
Oh, okay.
I go for the more sentimental, poetic type. You feel it. It hits different. Okay. I don't need 808s to cover up for my melody and my beats. I just need my voice.
Yep. Okay.
Did you say poetic? Is that what I heard you say?
Huh?
Did you say poetic?
Poetic? No, I said poetic.
That's what we said, poetry. That's what you said.
I said poetry?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I said funny though.
You said poetry.
That's whatever it was.
He said it.
It resonated. I was like, okay, that's new. Well, let's do this here. I'm going to ask.
We have another one.
So we're gonna have one more from our sister. I understand she's gonna read another one. Then we're gonna ask Lizelle if she'll read a piece. Lizelle's been kind of quiet. She's talking about that's great. Come on now, Lizelle. But we're gonna make sure we
have another student. We have another student.
Let them go ahead with the student. Go ahead.
Oh no, we're still gonna get you in there. But go ahead.
And I'm glad
you gotta speak loud.
Use your voice.
It's poetry, so slow it down.
I want to be something to someone. I don't want to be nothing for no one. I want to live, laugh, love, cry, and have fun. I want to go out, make memories, and I won't stop until I'm done. I want to confess, profess, obsess my love. I have so much to give, but I won't stress it above my limit. Even I got to dim it. I can't work hard and party hard if my health got to dim it. I gotta take a break too. I know I got responsibility, but I can be responsible for me too, because I don't got the ability to think when I'm in pain. I'm human like that. I want to be bad, get wild, be a crazy cat, feel alone, feel free, because I owe it to me to be something to myself, not a try hard wannabe.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
That one can definitely be a song.
Mhm. How was that brother Dan Snowden? I didn't see Dan. I never see Dan, but anyhow, it's good to hear you, man. Glad you're on. So alliteration, right? I love the flow and the alliteration. Very well done. You know,
Yep.
it's good stuff.
And the rhyming scheme was done perfectly.
All right, good stuff.
Good,
So
good.
did we have another one? Thank you for sharing that. That's really good. And what was the name of that one, by the way? What was the name of it?
What was the name of it?
It was something to me.
Something to me.
I still didn't hear that.
Something to me.
Something to me. Gotcha. Good title. Okay. Good.
Tayana has another one.
All right. We're here listening.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This one's called Does Love Exist? And this is more so, it's not about my experience with love. I would say it's more what I've seen like my mom go through and what I've seen other women go through in relationships. I personally can't 100% relate to it, but I can, see other people's pain and kind of learn from that. So this is coming from like my mom's perspective, but I'm basically like writing it for her.
Okay.
So it's called Does Love Exist? Is love even real? Does love even exist? Is love patient like a hug or violent like a fist? Does passion exist, or was it all just for lust? Why make one heart suffer when it hurts the rest of us? Maybe it's infatuation, but what's with all the hesitation? Was it all just for fun? Are we disposable until you say we're done? Maybe obsession has taken a hold of you. You want what you can't have, and I'm not sure why you do. Turning my world to an ugly shade of green and dark blue. It affects the world ahead of me. God, I wish I knew. I love you is temporary until you find somebody new. Love can weaken your heart. Love can poison your mind. So be careful when chasing for any love that you can find. Do you crave it because you're empty? Have you ever loved at all? The worst part of loving is being the only one who falls.
Wow. That is good.
Now there's a powerful piece.
I feel like I need to pay you something. That's really good.
Yeah.
So, did you publish that?
I can't hear you.
Did you publish that?
No, I didn't publish any of it yet.
Okay. That's good.
Thank you.
Everything I've heard tonight is really good, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
one was
what's
really
going
hard.
with all this poetry? What's happening up in there? You guys doing anything with it?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Getting started. We're just getting started. Maybe we can evolve that this year. Get a book
Yeah,
or
you may want to think
something.
of a true anthology or something like that, yeah, there you go. Yeah, you may want to think of a true anthology where you actually have, we have a person that could help put it together. Just words from the true group, I mean, you got some really good, powerful writings there. Why not? Now, one thing you can do if you want to submit things, I'll say it again, to the Writers Workshop Online magazine. You already got it there. All you got to do is we'll tell you how to submit it if you want it published, and it will be out in August, the first part of August. And you just send it to Sarita Henderson, and we can put it in the Wordshop Online magazine, and be happy to do so. But that's just an opportunity. There are other places you may want to send it to as well. But wow, good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. Yeah. So let's do this here because we always want to honor our workshop poets as well. So I want you to hear a couple of our people. We'll have the Zill on tonight. And then Dr. Dan Snowden, are you going to share something with us?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we're going to have the Zill, then we're going to have Dr. Dan, and then we'll come back to the true group. So the Zill, would you share something with our group tonight?
Yeah. All right, this one is called She Held the Unborn Secret. She paced and moved swiftly back and forth, her aura so dim and gloomed, like a death sentence was over her head. Her mouth and lips trembled as she mumbled to herself, to her thoughts, her eyes screamed in fright, and her mind like a maze, not knowing which thought to let out first. She's not sure, she's confused, knowing what's inside of her. But I knew. A mother always know, because I was there. I hid from my mother, and my mother hid from hers. Generations of secrets that moved us, chased us, haunted us. One by one, they floored us. But she did not speak her fears. She ran, the unborn, the innocent is inside her. What can I say to myself? Or what can she say? She's a mother. She's not even so sure if she wants to be one. But then I remember, but wait, I'm just the grandmother. Why am I thinking about breastfeeding? Why am I thinking about diapers and pampers and milk and WIC and all these stuff? Why am I thinking about that? I'm just the grandmother. But then she has to study what she's going to do with this unborn. I'm thinking for her. Why am I thinking for her? I'm not supposed to do that. She went and she got into her mess. Why am I doing this? No, this is her job. This is what she wanted. This is just another soul, another child to be messed with as society awaits her birth. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Always like when she reads with passion. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And for the true group, said, go ahead now.
Gazelle,
Yes.
I have, you have continually grown since you've been on this.
I'm trying.
This group.
I'm trying.
I mean, yeah, you have really stepped up into this deep. Your words are always good. Now you're delivering it extremely well with that feeling and passion behind it. Makes it even better. I mean, that's good. Now, I think that's confidence.
Yeah, I need to get a little, I need to read without a script. That's where I want to reach.
Just listen, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing. Hey, we're going to ask Dr. Dan Snowden to share a piece, if you don't mind, Dan.
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. Since there seems to be a running theme of dark-related poetry, so I'll put one of my own in here as well. This is my dark side pet peeves. Those whom I know can understand me best, getting the personality that I share. Yet, for all the positives I exude, there is another side to show that I dare. To begin, I really despise waiting when things take so much longer than they should. In my life, this happens far too often, leading me down paths that are not so good. Another topic that I don't favor is getting less than I truly deserve, putting outstanding efforts in my tasks for sub-average results of all the nerve. I'm not fond of disciplinary acts when some apply them in the wrong fashion. Making idiots of those who do so, for me, is most certainly a passion. I also dislike ungrateful persons to whom I have shown nothing but kindness. In return, they treat me quite viciously. For them, that's a sign of true blindness. When life hands me moments that are not needed, from my most unbiased point of view, this drives my persona to a dark place, making it important to start anew. If I had my way with what life offers, I would pummel it into helplessness, taking all its pearls, leaving all its swine, stating, I'm done with settling for less. If this piece surprises those who read it, then its job was performed commendably. I do have a dark side and or pet peeves, just as others do, understandably.
Very well done. Thank you, Dr. Dan.
Certainly.
Always like your writing schemes, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I want to make sure that everybody knows this. I'm especially sending this out to True and Nanette. I want to invite you to do this as well. And that is on Saturday, July the 22nd, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. We will be having poetry and pastry. It's a free event. We're having donuts and all kinds of pastry and drinks and all that stuff over at 900 South Arlington Avenue. And we're looking for some poets. Hello, true people. Looking for some poets to read, because we will be reading poetry that day in the morning from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And here's the flyer that Brother Chris, thank you, Brother Chris, pulling it up. Poetry and pastry. We would love to have some young voices, especially based on what I heard tonight. That would be fantastic. And we are hoping to have a setup where we can have the the video so that we can have people like Neil Owens, if he's willing to come, let Zell, if you're willing to come on and do some of your poetry that day. Some other folks, we'll try to get them on, but it's a free event and the donuts will be flying. The donuts and the pastry will be there. That's my motivation.
Trying
The
to get away
poetry's
from
cool,
that
but the
stuff.
donuts, yeah. Anyhow, but I want to make sure that I hope that you will all come out and have some fun with it. And there's Nanette, I don't know, we're gonna try to have some entertainment too. Hope you'll come and sing for us.
Okay, I gotta look at my calendar.
Check out the calendar. You probably be on a cruise somewhere, but anyhow, it's all good. Listen, I enjoyed tonight a lot. Thank you, True. This was great. Your writing really touched us tonight. Hope that you'll keep writing. I also hope that you'll submit some of your works to the online magazine. We'd love to have you do that, as well as the article. We're looking forward to having that article in the magazine on True. And then, Lizelle, Nanette, Neil, all of you, Dr. Dan, please consider submitting something to the online magazine. All you got to do is send it into Writers Wordshop Online at gmail.com. And we hope that you can get it in by the 15th of the month, which is a week from tomorrow. And we're looking for a little bit of everything, let your creative juices flow. And we'll make sure that you get a chance to have an audience and be published, okay? That's what this is all about. Brother Chris, thank you again, man. Those are great videos that you showed us tonight. We appreciate you as always. Thank you to the True staff, the adults. We always say thank you for your service. Without your dedication to the process, our young people would not prosper the way that they are. So again, thank you all for what you do. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you now. And by the way, Angela, I want to thank you for introducing me to the young men this past, what was that, Wednesday? We went over there to the neighborhood group. And that was great. I enjoyed myself and I'm looking forward to working with those young men, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Good stuff. And I hope everybody's gonna have yourself a great week. And hope that you will, get something into the magazine, but also hope to see you next Friday night. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
you.
All right, thank you now. All right. Appreciate everybody. Have yourself a good week. Okay. See you now. What's the stuff you off? So nice. Neil, there you go, bro. All right.
Hey.
Like it. Yeah.
Didn't get the chance to hear about the Millions trip.
You should have showed some of your paintings too, Lizelle.
What's that?
You should have showed some of your paintings.
Oh.
We'll do that next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All right.
See you now. See you now.